Did you know that one of the most explosive discoveries in history was made completely by accident? Over 1,000 years ago, Chinese alchemists searching for an elixir of immortality stumbled upon something far more powerful: gunpowder. This unlikely invention, made from a combination of saltpeter, sulfur, and charcoal, would go on to change the course of history. But in its earliest days, gunpowder was not a weapon of war. Instead, it was a substance of mystery and wonder, used in elaborate firework displays that dazzled crowds and fueled legends of magic. The moment of its discovery marked the beginning of an era where science, warfare, and culture would be forever intertwined. But how did this accidental creation transform from a mystical ingredient into one of history's most influential forces? Let's travel back in time to where it all began, ancient China, in the hands of curious alchemists searching for eternal life. Enjoying the adventure so far? Smash that like button, subscribe, share your thoughts, and drop a comment below. Also, follow me on Spotify, subscribe to my Patreon, support me on Buy Me a Coffee, and join me on Ko-Fi for more epic historical journeys. Gunpowder's story begins deep within the laboratories of Chinese Taoist alchemists during the Tang Dynasty, around 700 AD. These scholars were dedicated to unraveling the mysteries of life and death, seeking a way to extend human existence through alchemy. Their experiments often involved mixing various minerals and substances in pursuit of an elixir of immortality. But instead of eternal life, they discovered something completely unexpected: combustion. Early Taoist texts describe the volatile reactions they witnessed, warning of dangerous mixtures that produce fire, smoke, and even explosions. One 8th century text contains a chilling account. Some have heated together sulfur, realgar, and saltpeter with honey, resulting in smoke and flames, so that their hands and faces have been burned. This was the first recorded evidence of gunpowder, a substance that would eventually ignite revolutions, redefine warfare, and shape global history. Before gunpowder became synonymous with war and destruction, it was a tool of celebration and wonder. The Chinese quickly realized that their fiery discovery could be used for entertainment, and they began incorporating gunpowder into their traditional festivals. They filled hollow bamboo tubes with the black powder, tossing them into fires to create loud bangs and bright sparks, an early form of fireworks. These dazzling explosions fascinated the public and were soon used in grand ceremonies to honor emperors, ward off evil spirits, and mark the passage of time. The famous dragon dance, which remains a key part of Chinese New Year celebrations today, was often accompanied by firecrackers, making the spectacle even more mesmerizing. Gunpowder, in its earliest form, was not a weapon of destruction, but a tool of joy, used to light up the skies in bursts of brilliant color. Little did the world know that this mesmerizing display would soon evolve into something far more powerful and fearsome. By the 10th century, gunpowder had taken on a much darker role. It had become a weapon of war. While fireworks continued to entertain, military leaders saw a different potential. The earliest recorded gunpowder weapons emerged in China, starting with fire lances, hollow bamboo tubes filled with gunpowder that could spew flames toward enemies. Soon, the Chinese military developed bombs, rockets, and gunpowder-propelled arrows. One of the first documented weapons was the flying fire arrow, an arrow with a small tube of gunpowder attached, which was ignited before being launched at an enemy. Though primitive, these weapons signaled the beginning of a new era in warfare. No longer were battles solely determined by swords and spears. Fire and explosions had entered the battlefield. The birth of gunpowder weaponry set the stage for centuries of military innovation, where technology would determine the fate of nations. For centuries, China kept gunpowder a closely guarded secret, using it for both defense and spectacle. However, knowledge has a way of spreading, especially in times of war and trade. By the 13th century, gunpowder began making its way westward, carried along the Silk Road by merchants, envoys, and warriors. The Mongol Empire, which stretched across Asia and into Europe, played a major role in introducing gunpowder to new lands. As the Mongols waged war, they brought with them gunpowder-based weaponry, leaving their enemies scrambling to adapt. Soon, the Islamic world began experimenting with this powerful substance, and before long, European kingdoms caught on as well. By the 14th century, gunpowder was no longer a Chinese secret. It had become a global force. The first European cannons and handguns appeared, forever changing the face of warfare. The once mystical alchemical mixture had now become an unstoppable tool of gunpowder didn't just change warfare, it revolutionized it. Before its introduction, castles and fortresses provided nearly impenetrable defenses, making long sieges the primary strategy for warfare. But with the arrival of cannons, those once mighty walls crumbled under the power of gunpowder-fueled artillery. Muskets replaced swords and bows, allowing armies to engage from greater distances with deadly accuracy. The nature of combat was forever altered. Strategy shifted from hand-to-hand combat to battlefield formations dictated by firearms and artillery. By the 16th century, European powers used gunpowder not just to win wars, but to build empires. Conquistadors wielded muskets to defeat the great civilizations of the Americas, while cannons secured trade routes and colonies across the world. Gunpowder had become the great equalizer, making even the most fortified cities vulnerable and turning battles into explosive spectacles of destruction. Though gunpowder was responsible for some of the most devastating wars in history, it also remains a symbol of celebration and wonder. Today, the very same substance that once destroyed cities now lights up the night sky during festivals around the world. Fireworks, perfected over centuries, are launched on New Year's Eve, Independence Day celebrations, and countless other special occasions. In China, firecrackers are still an essential part of the Spring Festival, used to bring luck and drive away evil spirits. Even modern rocketry, which has taken humanity into space, owes its origins to early gunpowder propulsion. From battlefields to grand festivities, gunpowder has left an indelible mark on human history. It is a reminder that even the most destructive inventions can bring beauty and joy when used in the right way. From ancient alchemists searching for immortality to the battlefields that shaped empires, gunpowder's story is one of accidental genius, destruction, and innovation. What began as a mystical experiment turned into a force that changed civilizations forever. The echoes of its discovery still resonate today, in both the explosions of fireworks and the history of warfare. It leaves us with an intriguing question. Has gunpowder been more of a blessing or a curse? Would the world be a better place if it had never been discovered? Or did its influence pave the way for progress? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more amazing historical insights. Want to support my work? Join me on Patreon, buy me a coffee, or Ko-Fi to help keep these stories coming. Until next time, keep exploring the past. It shapes our future.